Are you wanting to feel calmer in life? Well, today I'm going to share a perspective on this. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra special point for you then as well. Now, in my life, I've had huge levels of anxiety, panic attacks a couple of times, especially I remember as a teenager, it used to happen, a real couple of horrible experiences with it. And many other times when I just felt down and just stressed and just not good. Even in the last year, there were one or two times when I just felt stressed from my professional life, sometimes in my personal life. And from going through my own journey and trying different things that worked, things that did work and maybe didn't work as much, I found things that have made me calmer and perhaps made me feel worse. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because we can live in quite a stressful world, right? If we try to follow completely I'll start with this. You have an inner world and an outer world. The inner world is what goes on internally inside of you, how you think about things, how you decide to focus your attention in the world. Your outer world is everything that happens outside of you. So to keep it very simple, your inner world's you and your outer world's everything else. Now, the majority of human beings are driven by their outer world for how they feel, which makes sense because, like, obviously, if things go well, like we have good relationships with people, we're doing well in our jobs or our business, in the outer world, these things are going well. We start feeling good within inside ourselves. And when things don't go so well, we don't feel as good. And that's very, very common. Now, the problem is when people don't start training their inner world at all. And I've been guilty of this. And the problem is when you don't train your inner world is if something horrendously bad happens in the outer world, which it could do, and it does happen, in life, then if you've not trained that inner world, how you respond, how you feel to things, that go to the emotional gym, as I call it, then it's going to be a lot harder. So we need to start looking at how we start to train ourselves internally in terms of our inner world. And when we can train ourselves to feel good, regardless of circumstances, obviously, if something good happens, we can add to feeling good even more in the day to day in the outer world. But when we start training ourselves to feel good internally, we're more likely to go out and do good things in the outer world as well. Now, how is it helping you being stuck in your inner world a bit, or not? Let me say that again. How is it helping you being stuck in a place of just not feeling calm because you're completely driven by things outside of your control all the time, and it's dictating your mood going up and down? I remember in the workplace for me, it'd be like, oh, it's going well, or I've had some criticism, I feel horrendous. And yes, when things are very dramatic or traumatic, then it's going to slightly knock you whether you've kind of mastered your internal game or not. The problem is the degree to which, how often it's going to impact you, and the degree to which it is determined by how well you train your internal world, how you think about things and approach things. So I wanted today to share a few points for how you can feel calmer. So therefore, start with training yourselves. Now, just before we go into those points, I want to ask you, are you perhaps challenged in the inner world by things like self-doubt? And you're thinking, oh, it's just the outer world, what's happened to me? Yeah, you keep being stuck there, right? And it blocks you from going towards where you want. Maybe things in your head go things like, you can't do that. Who are you to do that? What will people think of you? Now, I've done that so many times, and I've had to do a lot of work on myself to really build my confidence. And that's why I pulled together the Self-Esteem and Confidence Booster Challenge, which is going to be an 8-week challenge for you to move closer towards where you want to go, build up confidence within yourself, and smash out some of that self-doubt that you may be having. It's going to be an 8-week worth of coaching with me, and a chance to really create and take back some of what you want to do, create your life on a more empowering basis. And there's 3 prizes that you could win in it, including one-to-one coaching with me. Now, entry is not very long. You haven't got much longer. It closes on Saturday at midnight. So don't hang about for too long. You can find out more about that in the link below as well in the show notes. So let's go into how we can start feeling calmer within ourselves, take back control in terms of internally so that we feel calmer going into all these outer world things going on around us. The first one is about planning. Planning, set goals on what you want. Like set yourself goals. Where do you want to be? Like in 3 years' time, in a year's time, in 6 months' time. Where do you want to be? Set yourself some goals. Now, don't base how you feel depending on if you've achieved those goals or not, because you can always be setting goals and going towards them. They're just setting you direction so you know where you're going. You're not going around in a circle. The thing is to set yourself, the next part of this is still point one, but set yourself things you can do every day, because that's going to allow you to feel more present. This is going to allow you to feel more present when you're able to achieve little things every day. Set yourselves targets for what you can do every day, because think about what's in your control, what you can do. So for example, you want to get to a certain weight. Well, you're not going to do that overnight. So what could be your goal for the day? It could be just to go to the gym for 20 minutes. And I'm going to go to the gym for 20 minutes after this, at least 20 minutes. I'm having a lighter day today. Rather than overloading yourself and thinking of all the things, because when you start thinking about all the things you've got to do, that overwhelms us and makes us very, very stressed. And the final part to this first point, it's still the first point, is find time each week to really, if it's on a Saturday morning, Sunday morning, that's when I like to do it, one of those, and then start thinking about where you want to go in life, what direction, and actually what the things you could do each day to move towards the goals you currently got. And when you achieve those goals, you can set more goals. That's the exciting thing. And base your success on what you're doing each day. The second thing to really feel calmer is to do meditation and or breathing techniques, because what these allow you to do, and I would recommend if you're looking at any breath work, look at something called somatic breath work. It is a game changer. If not, if you want something quicker, just go on Wim Hof breathing techniques on YouTube. Those are my two recommendations. And then meditation, there's your sport for choice, basically online. There's so many good ones out there. But these things will allow you to focus back onto you, into your, how you breathing, how are you feeling, rather than looking at the outside. And when you can do that, you can start feeling calmer as a result. Breath work for me has been a game changer. I do somatic breath work. We have sessions every 2 weeks, but I do a little bit of breath work each day. And then my final point is start to observe yourself. Of course, we've got the bonus one coming in a minute as well. Observe yourself, because when you start observing yourself, rather than getting caught in the reactive, the emotions day to day, you're allowed to step back and see actually how you're feeling. And when you can start saying, okay, and it's okay to feel negative emotions sometimes, like say, okay, I'm feeling slightly anxious right now. When you can do that, you can start observing yourself. I really recommend reading the book, The Power of Now, as well, because that allows you to observe yourself a little bit more. So start observing yourself every day and how you're feeling. So just before I get into that final bonus point, I just wanted to appreciate you for listening today. And I wanted to just give a quick reminder again, because he's going away shortly. You won't be able to join from Saturday, because it's going to close at midnight Eastern on Saturday. We've got the self-esteem and confidence booster challenge, which is really going to allow you to smash through self-doubt. I'm going to give you a very simple system to use to work through this. It's going to be an 8-week challenge. I'm going to give you some of my best coaching tools. So if that's something you want to do, you want to start moving towards what you want with more confidence, smash through some of that self-doubt, then don't hold yourself back anymore. Just click the link below to find out a little bit more about that. And it's got some answers to maybe questions you've got in there as well. Okay, so my bonus point for you today is write out, this is a strange one, but it's really helped me. Write out some of the challenges, rather than being reactive to like challenges on the spot. This is what you can do, even if it's just once a week. Write down some potential challenges you may come up with. Now, you're not going to encounter for all, but what would you do in those situations? So maybe you're worried what someone's going to say. Like you got to do a little bit of a presentation in work or for your business, and you're a little bit nervous about that. So write down what the challenge is, and then actually write, how could you overcome that? Maybe you're like a little bit worried about money in some way. So write down what is the challenge and maybe how you can start overcoming that. Because what that's doing is allowing you to think in a logical way, of course, but actually getting those ideas down on paper allows you to see some of these things that might make you less calm, and actually writing it down allows you to access more logic, feel calmer, and see what you can do about a potential situation. When you can do that, you can start thinking that way a lot quicker and calming yourself down, because you're proactively planning for challenges that are coming ahead. And that's training your inner world in terms of what you can do, that you've got solutions inside of you. And that's really good practice. And when you do it, praise yourself, pat yourself on the back, and give yourself credit for it, because it tells yourself that you're resourceful and you can do more of it. So that's what I got for you today. Once again, a reminder about the Self-Esteem and Confidence Booster Challenge that does close midnight Saturday Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be starting on Monday. So after Saturday, there is no entry to this. So you can find out more about that in the show notes below. So I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.